fresh gym. Can you just give me a brief breakdown of a little bit of your history for those people who don't know, and how you got to your black belt status and us sitting here in Nanaimo?
Yeah, absolutely. So just briefly, I started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in 2002. Training mostly no-gi for MMA as part of my MMA training. And I didn't start training in the gi until probably around 2009, 2010, and I got my black belt in 2012. So I got it pretty quickly for a guy who hadn't really done much gi training. I got my black belt at American Top Team, and then I moved here shortly after. And I've been very fortunate to train with a lot of the best grapplers in the world and try to kind of synthesize a concept-based jiu-jitsu system that incorporates sort of cutting-edge information with a conceptual basis.
Your jiu-jitsu philosophy it cannot be encapsulated in 5 minutes. Like there's way too much.
Well, it can be, but not in depth.
Yeah. Not in depth.
Yeah.
So, how's jiu-jitsu helped you off the mats? I know for myself, having trained in training with former 1FC fighter, former CFL player Paul Chang. I mean, and the dude's coming at you, you can't panic. So for me, jiu-jitsu has helped me really in the work environment too. When a heavy task comes, to just kind of push through and kind of find the way around and kind of just go through piece by piece. So can you comment on how it's helped you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you probably know, I recently had some shitty stuff happen in my life. So we had a fire at our former location, which actually coincided with the same week that I found out that my mom has cancer. So it was a brutal time. I had to simultaneously find a temporary training space for our students and try to build us a new academy as quickly as possible, while trying to support my mom through like surgery and radiation therapy and all that kind of stuff. So I mean that's jiu-jitsu in a nutshell, right? Like you're in a shitty position, but you have to find a way to make it work and to survive and hopefully to thrive. I know we put a big emphasis in jiu-jitsu on the idea of like you're in a bad position and you just got to survive, but I actually believe that the thing that helped me more is not just the idea of surviving, it's the idea of being able to thrive. That if you apply the principles correctly, then not only will you survive, but you will prevail. And I think taking that methodology or that mentality a step further really helped me, because there were points during those few months where at one point I was admitted to the hospital with like severe abdominal cramp. It was just literally just stress. I thought I had appendicitis. The doctors thought I might have appendicitis, but it was just an overwhelming amount of stress. I think we had a conversation the other night where I mentioned that my mom's cancer treatment went really well, and the building of the academy went horribly, and there was tons of obstacles, and every possible thing pretty much that could go wrong went wrong. And it's just I think I was able to take a little bit of perspective from training and saying that if I had to pick, have my mom's cancer treatment go perfect and my academy construction go shitty, I would take that every single time. And so I don't think if I didn't have the experience with jiu-jitsu in my life, I would have been able to create that sort of perspective. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think it was beneficial.
For sure. Now you train one of the top athletes over on the mainland, Matt Kwan. Can you kind of comment on how, what it's like and what it takes as a coach to be able to push an athlete that far, and then also the way you teach is very open. You like a lot of information. You really believe in the iron sharpens iron. So you feel that helps when training an athlete who's not in the same city as you.
First of all, I would say that, and as much as I want to take credit, because I do believe that I've contributed to Matt's journey, I'd be the first one to say that Matt is successful because Matt is an awesome person and he's extremely dedicated, and he would be great no matter who he was training with. So for the little that I can say that I've contributed to his progress, I think it would be in the sense of, because we create such specific systems, right? I think some of you guys here during your visit have noticed how every instructor here almost sounds the same, right? And it's not because I'm trying to create clones, it's because we've created very specific systems for conveying jiu-jitsu in a pretty scientific way. And so because I've been able to give Matt Kwan those systems, even though I might only see him once every month, or a couple times a month, because of how specifically we can translate any information I give him into our underlying conceptual basis, or conceptual formula or system, whatever you want to call it. He's able to reverse engineer or like self-teach. Like he can diagnose what he's doing without having to ask me as an instructor. I don't have to have my presence isn't required all the time because I've given him this fundamental underpinning. Once we go over some of the details of something I've shown him, he can take it and run with it. So I think if I've contributed anything, it's been that. It's giving him a way of thinking about jiu-jitsu that makes it easier for him to design and succeed his own jiu-jitsu path. And I mean, the other aspect to it is I take it as a huge honor and responsibility in the sense of I don't view myself as an athlete. Like I'm an all right grappler, but I certainly take the greatest amount of pride in my jiu-jitsu life in contributing to other people's journeys and making them successful. So, you know, like there's no amount of you know, like dedication that I won't offer, right? Like I think if you talk to Matt, he'd mention how like we've gone on trips together where I've taken him to Coyoteras for a week to train for a tournament. You know, like I'll go and corner him whenever, you know, like I'll get on a plane, I'll get on a boat. So yeah, I think if there's anything, because I take the responsibility so heavily, there are things that there's an extension of effort that I'm willing to go to that I think has been pretty helpful to him. So yeah.
That's huge. Awesome. Well, we're going to get on with our private class, and
let's do it.
I know we could talk for hours, but we're going to keep it short. So
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.